Good morning and thanks for having me.
I hope you're well.
God is good.
Okay. Let's start with, first of all, I'm sure you've looked at the statistics provided by Wassce. What do you think? Is it bad or good?
It's not the best because we all expected that performance will improve over the previous year. So if we couldn't, if you look at 2024 and 2025, I think all of them, we couldn't outperform the previous year. But the worst case for us is commerce and then social studies. And then overall, we can also say that if we do the average core subject pass rate, this year's one is the lowest since 2018. The average core subject pass rate is 57.8 for this year, and that's the lowest since 2018. But comparing it to the previous year, I think you agree with me that for English, 2024 was just 69.52, and we are 69% there. Core marks 66.8, and we this year is 48. Sharp deviation. Integrated science 58.7, 2025 57.7. Then social studies 71.53, 2024, and then 2025 55.8. That's also the sharp. So it's not the best, but the two subject areas very critical.
Is there anything accounting for this?
By all means, something might have caused or triggered. But because the chief examiner's report is not in yet, we've heard that they are trying to get it out by end of this month. That's before the year ends. That will give us specifics. And then from there, we can also look at what also happened. But our interaction with some of the teachers after this result was released talks of the general one that student preparation is a general phenomenon that every year occurs. Then also, there's this topic, they call it circle theory. I understand the exam, it came in different areas. The general perception of that is a topic that doesn't come regular. As we all know, as for Ghana, we study to pass. We study for exam. It's not for life. So when the trend comes and then the teachers see that, oh, as for this area, it doesn't come often. They don't spend a lot of time there. They concentrate on areas that will come. And sometimes we all went to school. They will tell you that if it will come, it's just a question out of the lot. So and the topic is difficult. That aspect is difficult. So why do you waste your time to study while the other areas that you can easily get it done? But I think last year that topic came, and we are thinking that might be part of the course. But like we said, we need to wait for the chief examiner's report to be able to know the real course. So the general student preparation is one of the things. And then as for the math, the circle theory, as they are saying. Again, the minister mentioned it. Even the tablets that was given to students, they are using it to view illicit videos and pictures. So it's also part of the use of phone, TikTok, social media that takes a chunk of their time other than studying. Yeah.
I see. Is this something that should worry us?
Very much, very much. And we are worried because if you look at the statistics as provided by Wassce, just taking a look at the past, let's see, they provided the numbers in the past. Core mathematics from D7 to F9. If you put all of them together, it's about 200,000 students. And you know what or how the core subjects play in the life of students moving to the next stage. So we have about 200,000 students who might not be able to move to the next stage in terms of academics. Same for social studies. Social studies too, if you add that together from D7 to F9, we also have, almost the same number. Yeah, almost the same number. 33, 40, 122. Yeah. And you see, F9 for social studies, 27.5. 122,000 students total failed. So, and social studies encompasses a lot of aspects. So, in that aspect too, the report will tell us more, but I'm sure our students, day in, day out, are missing out on the broader aspect of our social life. Marriage, how customer, as you grow, you are taught how marriages are contracted, other social events. So if a question within that area comes, and you don't know, especially children in the cosmopolitan area, they might find it difficult answering those things. But previously, those were the basic things that we know. You are not even taught because you know already. So I think it's a cause for serious worrying, and we need to sit up and work at it.
Okay.
Overall, 200,000 core math and then social studies, just around the same figure. Will not be able to move to the next stage in terms of education.
Well, one of the causes you talked about was the tendency not to study generally, but to study specifically. Maybe sometimes you said, like, sometimes they're guided by teachers, they are guided by past questions. They think that this will not drop. This one, they has dropped consistently over this period of time. And you can also see that in where Wassce was talking about examination irregularities. Are we seeing some improvements there?
For irregularities, we didn't highlight it because their performance, even though not good, wasn't bad across. If you look at the previous year, because English and integrated science wasn't so much significant in terms of the difference from the previous year. So yes, sorry, the systems put in place played a role, but we cannot ascribe that only to mathematics, unless the report shows that. I hope you follow the trend I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
If invigilation and things were strengthened, which it was, then it should reflect across. But the two core areas, the deviation is sharp, that goes beyond. We know of, before the exam, Minister of Education telling all heads of the second cycle institutions that they'll be held responsible for any malpractice. For a very long time, this is the first time we are getting such letters to the schools. Then again, the Minister of Education also warning teachers that if any teacher is caught, dismissal. So all these were deterrent, putting putting the fear of God in the teachers. So teachers and invigilators were not prepared to risk their job at the expense of the small amount that. It doesn't also mean that everything was smooth sailing. At least I can share some information in terms of from 2018 to 2023, how the rate of malpractice affected results. In 2018, it was 0.8%, and the average core subject pass rate was 52%. 2019, the malpractice rate moved to 2.5, and performance moved from 52 to 62%. 2020, 1.8. It means the malpractice rate has reduced, and then performance also reduced to 60%. 2021, it moved to 2.3, but performance still stayed at 60%. So that is one of the key outliers. Come to 2022, it increased to 6.9 in terms of malpractice. Then performance increased to 64%. 2023, it went to 10% in terms of malpractice, and performance was 70%. This is the average core subject pass rate. Eduwatch, we compute them. We are here to do for 2024 and then the current year. So that is how the trend has been. So there's a direct correlation to that. But now what we are saying is that the performance in terms of the deviation was on math and social studies. Others wasn't so much significant, even though we expected an improvement. It reduced, but it was just small reduction. So yes, invigilation systems put in place. We know some of the teachers were sent to court, some were jailed, some were fined. The other disciplinary measures that is taken, and even we are expecting that those who went to jail after they are released, the GES should let them go because they cannot serve as a model again. They should just dismiss them. So we continue to sustain and improve the integrity of our exam.
Well, yes, still the numbers are staggering because when I heard the 10% in 2023, I was shocked. 10% of total number of those who sat were engaged in examination malpractices in 2023. That is huge. But these numbers are also not promising. 6,295 candidates whose subject results have been cancelled for bringing in foreign materials like prepared notes, textbooks, and printed material into the examination hall. But you say, even though 6,000 sounds a lot, is lower than you've seen over the years.
Yeah, but you see, if you have a problem and every year you're able to reduce it, might not be to the level that you expect. But once you are working at it, it's good. What you need to do is to see which area that you need to do more work. Then we work on that. So I think that is the angle that we need to take it. These are human problems. It's a social problem. You cannot cut it just within a year. So the measures put in place, sanctioning those involved, and then the students also involved. Previously, I saw Wassce was publishing pictures of students on the newspaper. Yeah. So I don't know the legalities associated with that. But all these measures put in place is to make sure that those who are perpetuating it, those who are aiding and then abetting, when you are found, they are all brought into book so that we reduce. Previously, head teachers, when they sign the performance contract, the contract is only to say that if Wassce pass, you need to get this rate pass. So heads will do everything. But now the letter went and said, you'll be held responsible if there's any examination malpractice. You see the two situations. So now heads of institutions are now making sure that my name is not associated with any of the malpractices. What do you have to do? You need to put in measures to make sure that your school is free from. If anything happens, still those places are schools. And therefore, investigations can be had. And some of them cannot be the making of the head. All the measures were put in place. But, there are invigilators. There are also people in the exam room that we also should make sure that, for instance, foreign material, how did they get them into the examination hall? I don't want to say with connivance or whatever, but if somebody has a phone in the examination hall, how did it get there? So these are things that we need to work at it. So it's alarming, but Rome was never built in a day, and so we need to work at it.
In fact, yourself, from your executive director, I get the impression that you've been doing some survey on invigilation for this year. Exactly what did you do?
I think the report is on our website, the survey. This is it. We launched that in October 2025. That was the day that the report was launched. So we tried to find out the quality of invigilation and supervision in 2025, the current one. And then, if you look at the data, we have 28% saying good, 24% very good, 9% excellent. If you put all these three together, you get 61%, giving it a positive. Then 39% is, they say, it's just a minute. 39, poor and very poor. So that is the survey we did and the results that came. So in essence, it tells us that the recent Wassce exams that was held, the perception was that 61% saw it as very good in terms of supervision and invigilation. But there's still the 39 that needs to be worked on.
Well, let me conclude by then asking you about first the 39% that needs to be worked on. Will the deterrents being set help? Like people being sent to jail, you're asking for some of the teachers to be dismissed, the head teachers being held accountable. Among all of that, would it help reduce the number further?
Yes, we believe so, because it's part of the things that we have advocated for long. For instance, I'm a head of an institution. I have a target to get my students to say 70% or 50%. The category A schools, the grade A schools. Some even, if you look at the percentage, 90% pass. If that is my target, what will I do to get it done? Have to use other means to get it done. But if I'm now told that I'll be held responsible of any malpractice in my school, then I have to sit back and reflect, then count the cost. Do I want to get the target at the risk of my job, at the risk of social embarrassment, at the risk of being embarrassed in my family, my children, they've been told that I got suspended, I got sacked because I colluded in getting my students to do well. But what I can do is to make sure that they study, they prepare very well, put in measures that will get the students prepared very well. For instance, my child was in one of the schools. Those days, we went there, and the school told us that, well, per the capacity and everything, they can do one mock. The parents said, no, we want them to do as many mocks as well. Then the means should be provided. So parents provided means for that to be done. If we get that done and the children do well, there's no collusion. It's not about practice. It's an intervention that has aided and done very well. So we expect the schools to look at the interventions more than getting the students some help at the examination hall. And again, part of the recommendation that we are saying now, whilst we wait for the chief examiner's report, because that will give us specifics and details. We are saying that student readiness should be improved by reinforcing message that candidates alone are responsible for their performance in the exam room. We need to strengthen preparation systems, including pre-exam intervention. Now that the PTAs have been given the mandate to also be fully on board, these are some of the things that the management of the school and then the PTAs can look at. What are the interventions that we have? What is the preparation like? There are so many ways. I know a school those days, weekends, Saturdays, they can do 1 hour prep before any other thing. These are interventions. Extra tuition and those things within the school system. These are interventions that I think if specific individual schools look at with their working with the PTA can get students. And then there's something that we also want Wassce to be telling the legislators. They shouldn't be so harsh on the students. Already they are 10. So their nerves should rather be calm without and then not compromise any foreign material being sent to them. So it's not the shouting at them, it's not the reprimand and all that that will make them hear you. It adds to the anxiety. But you can be calm and still be fair and firm. I think it's one area that Wassce or the ministry should look at. That those invigilators should also be oriented to positively relate with the candidate. I think if we do, some of these things will help. Once the chief examiner's report comes, we might have to do full-scale research and then using the chief examiner's report to guide policy and then practice for future examination. But as we speak, we have candidates for next year, I think June. I don't know where they will be writing. So various schools should put in ad hoc measures to pre-trim them. While some of these things come and guide policy. Policies take some time, but we cannot sit down and then get our students to go through the same process until those policy guidance. They should sit down and look at some of these things and start with the students who are in Form 3 now. Because we are in December. If they are writing in June, June is just around the corner, God willing.
Well, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Have a nice day.
Kofi Nkansah Sarkodie, Programs Management Specialist for Eduwatch, joining us on the line, taking us to 2 minutes past 9. SM still has that summary. the tables that were produced by WAEC telling us exactly how well the students have performed. Like Kofi Nkansah Sarkodie says, June is around the corner, so we need to be able to put in place any remedies we must put in place to ensure a better performance this time around. SM.
Now, you 2025 day.
Okay.
Now we know you core subjects, English, mathematics, integrated science, and social studies. Now, on my grade, A1 to C6.
A1 to C6.
Yes.
Okay.
And it will grade D7, grade E8, and grade F9.
Okay.
Now, Ukpa English now, A1 to C6, 289,673 candidates. And over a year percentage wise,
289,673. Okay.
Yeah, that is 69%.
Okay.
And then grade D7, 37,712, representing 8.18%.
Okay.
And then grade E, 39,091, representing 9.23%.
Okay.
And then grade F9, 54,294, representing 12.86%. That is English language.
Okay.
Now, Yanko mathematics. Grades A1 to C6, 209,068, representing 48.73%. Which is way 2025. Afi grade D7, 52,991, representing 11.62%.
Okay.
And then grade E8, 52,145, representing 12.15%. And then F9, 114,872, representing 26.77%. Mathematics, no. Now, integrated science. A1 to C6, 220,806, representing 57.74%. And then grade D7, 54,580, representing 11.85%. Grade E8, 45,783, representing 11.97%. And then grade F9, 61,243, representing 16.05%. Integrated science. Now, Yanko social studies. Omomunya grades A1 to C6, 248,538, representing 55.82%. Afi D7, no, 33,670, representing 7.38%.
Okay.
Now you have E8, 40,608, representing 9.12%. And then grade F9, there's some failure cry, 122,449, representing 27.50%. Now, yeba 4-year performance statistics. The minimum we 2025 nkutu.
Okay.
Intino so biaba. Unini bia.
Okay.
Yeba 4-year performance statistics. A year core subject, that is English, Maths, Integrated Science, and Social Studies from 2022, 23, 24, and 25.